Alright, now let's talk about how to practice this exercise. There's a few factors that you can vary here. The first one is rhythm. The way that I practice it is basically I start at quarter notes at 60 beats a minute, and then I go up to eighth notes at 60 beats a minute, and then I go up to triplets, and then I go up to 16th notes, and then I go up to groups of six. That's the rhythmic variation. The second variation on this exercise is the way that you pick it. I think the first way that you should try picking it is alternate picking when you can. Now, there's some leeway with alternate picking this exercise because there's a lot of sliding and hammer-ons and pull-offs, 2 notes per string and things like that. One thing I find myself doing is on the E dominant 7 shape, I slide my second finger from the 5th fret to the 8th fret, and I don't actually pluck both of those notes. Also, when I get up to the 7 and 10 on the G, I always pull that off, so I end up doing this. And then sliding that back down. So when I say alternate pick this, you don't have to alternate pick every note. Just try to get a lot of articulation out of the exercise. Wherever you have pull-offs, go ahead and pull them off. Wherever you have slides, go ahead and slide them. That's totally cool. Now, the other kind of way you can practice this exercise is sweeping it, since these are all arpeggios and they're all very sweepable shapes. This is very, very difficult for me, so hopefully you have better luck with it. But do it the same way rhythmically as you do the alternate picking, starting at 60 beats per minute. Now, the most important part about sweeping this exercise is that you want to make sure that you're raking and not down picking or up picking. So when you hit that first note, the 3rd fret on the E string with your first finger, your pick falls to the A string, and it prepares itself for the A string while you hammer on your 4th finger to the 7th fret. And then when you hit the A string, it falls to the D string and it's ready to hit that D string. You want to really stress the rhythm. You don't want to end up sloppily going back and forth between the notes and making it sound bad. You want to make sure you're really articulating the rhythms. Like that. And you also want to make sure that you're raking and that you're not down picking and individually picking every note. And then you build up your tempo, just like we did on the alternate picking. Another thing to stress about the sweeping of this exercise is do the exact same thing you did when you were learning the shapes. When you're sweeping it, it's kind of like learning shapes for your right hand. So break it down into groups of 2. We start with the E shape into the E dominant 7 shape, which looks like this. So you get those 2 shapes down, and then you move on to the G shape. I'll go ahead and say sweep picking the G shape, almost impossible, so just do the best you can there. The same thing can go for the A shape. It's better than the G shape for sure, but it's still awful. And then just learn that exercise sweeping just like you did, alternate picking it and learning the shapes, because now you're learning the shapes for your right hand and the raking. So I'm going to show you the first 5 shapes and the descending run, just to show you how it sounds. I'm going to do this in all 5 rhythmic variations, alternate picking and maybe sweep picking. We'll see how it goes. So we'll start off at quarter notes at 60 beats per minute. Alright, and here it is at eighth notes at 60 beats per minute. Alright, and here it is at triplets at 60 beats per minute. This is where the exercise really starts to take shape and gather some fluidity. Alright, here's the exercise at 16th notes at 60 beats per minute. The shapes really lend themselves to groups of three, so the rhythmic variation here might throw you off a little bit, because it's got a 2/3 feel to it, but really stress your ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and try to get through it at this tempo. I think groups of 6 are definitely the best feeling groups for these shapes. What you do once you get to this speed is start upping the tempo and taking out rhythmic variations that are slower, like the quarter notes and the eighth notes. What I generally do is I start on triplets, and I just gradually work my way up. That's a workout. Alright, so now let's try sweep picking, 60 beats per minute, quarter notes. Now obviously you can't sweep pick at the end, you just have to alternate pick through the run. I think what's important when you're sweep picking is to find your own right hand shapes. Whatever you find is the right point to do a down pick or an up pick, like at the end or the beginning of a shape, do that. The way that I've chosen to do the right hand sweep picking is provided in the tablature. So now let's do sweep picking, eighth notes, 60 beats per minute. So now let's try sweep picking triplets at 60 beats per minute. Again, this is where things begin to take shape and probably get really sloppy on my part. Now let's do sweep picking at 14 million notes per second. Now let's do sweep picking at 16th notes at 60 beats per minute. Alright, last but not least, let's try sweep picking in groups of sixes at 60 beats per minute. Again, probably going to get pretty sloppy. So since I've adapted this exercise to guitar, I play it every day. It's a really great warm-up exercise, not only for the fingers, but also for your mind to kind of work around keys and the cage system and things like that. It's improved my phrasing, which I really didn't expect. I was just doing it to get a really good warm-up exercise and do some study on the movement of fourths and fifths and things like that. But the more I play it, the more I like it, and I just wanted to share it with you guys. And I really hope you like it too. And if you can improve it any way, please tell me whatever you do, especially with the G shape. I can't stand the G shape. And I worked as hard as I could to find a different one, but I couldn't do it without some crazy tapping stuff. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'm sorry if this is a really long video, but I really do think it's worth it to learn this exercise. I am trying to make some more videos soon to expand upon the sweep picking and to get into tapping and hammer-ons and things like that, so keep an eye out for me. Again, thank you for watching the video, and if you have any questions or comments or improvements on the exercise or anything like that, just leave me a comment or send me a video or whatever, and I'll get back to you.